We all want it. It is the single most universal human desire. We chase it in our careers, we look for it in our relationships, and we buy products promising to deliver it in a box. Happiness. But if you ask the average person how to get happy, you'll get a million different answers. Some say it's money, some say it's freedom. Others say it's just luck of the draw. You're either born happy or you aren't. For centuries, happiness was a subject for philosophers and poets, but in the last few decades, it has moved into the lab. Neuroscientists, psychologists, and behavioral economists have started to pull back the curtain on what actually makes us feel good. And the results? They are often completely counterintuitive. For example, did you know that your brain has a baseline for happiness that it fights to return to, no matter what happens to you? Or that the year 2025 gave us new research suggesting that who you eat dinner with might matter more than what's in your bank account. In this video, we aren't just going to give you fluffy advice. We're going to dive deep into the biology of your brain, the psychology of your habits, and the hard data on human satisfaction. We're going to break down the neurotransmitters that control your mood, the external factors that actually move the needle, and finally the practical, science-backed strategies you can use today to hack your own well-being. Welcome to the science of happiness. To understand happiness, we first have to look under the hood. We tend to think of happiness as an abstract feeling, but biologically, it is a chemical event. It's a specific cocktail of neurotransmitters firing in your brain. Scientists often refer to the Big Four happiness chemicals by the acronym DOSE. First, there's dopamine. This is the reward chemical. It's not actually about pleasure, it's about anticipation. When you see a notification on your phone, or you smell pizza cooking, that surge you feel is dopamine telling you, do this and you will be rewarded. It drives motivation. Next is oxytocin, often called the love hormone. It's released during physical touch, social bonding, and trust building. It's the chemical that makes us feel safe and connected to others. Then we have serotonin. This is your mood stabilizer. It regulates your overall sense of well-being. When you feel significant or respected, serotonin is doing its job. Interestingly, 80% of your serotonin is actually produced in your gut, which we'll talk about later. Finally, there are endorphins. These are the brain's natural painkillers. They are released in response to stress or pain to help us push through. Runners, high athletes talk about. That's pure endorphins masking the pain of the workout. So, if happiness is just chemicals, are we slaves to our biology? Are some people just genetically doomed to be unhappy? This brings us to one of the most famous concepts in positive psychology, the set point theory. Research, including studies on identical twins separated at birth, suggests that about 50% of your happiness is determined by your genetics. You are born with a happiness set point, a baseline mood that you tend to drift back to. Here is the shocking part. Only about 10% of your happiness comes from your life circumstances. That means your house, your car, your job title, and how much money you have. All of that combines to make up only a tiny fraction of your well-being. That leaves 40%. This is the sweet spot. This 40% is determined by your intentional activities, your thoughts, your habits, and how you choose to view the world. While you can't change your DNA, you have massive control over this 40%. And science shows that maximizing this slice is the key to a fulfilling life. So if we have control, why do we often choose the wrong things? Why do we think a promotion or a lottery win will fix everything? Psychologists call this the Hedonic Treadmill. The Hedonic Treadmill describes our tendency to quickly return to a relatively stable level of happiness, despite major positive or negative events or life changes. You buy the new phone, you get a dopamine hit. You are happy for a week. Then the phone becomes normal. You adapt, and you're back to your baseline, looking for the next upgrade. This adaptation is a survival mechanism, but in the modern world, it traps us in a cycle of endless consumption. This brings us to the elephant in the room, money. Does money buy happiness? The answer is complicated. A famous study by Princeton University researchers found that money does increase happiness, but only up to a point where your basic needs and security are met. Beyond that threshold, for the unhappiest among us, money stops helping once bills are paid. For the rest, money can buy satisfaction. But it rarely buys joy if you sacrifice your relationships to get it. In fact, the pursuit of wealth can sometimes decrease happiness if it comes at the cost of the things that actually matter. So, what actually matters? The World Happiness Report, a massive global study released annually, consistently points to one factor that outweighs almost everything else: social connection. In the 2025 report, researchers highlighted something fascinating: the power of commensality. That's a fancy word for eating together. The data showed that sharing meals is a stronger predictor of well-being than previously thought. They also found a huge link between happiness and trust. In countries where people believe a stranger would return a lost wallet, happiness levels are significantly higher. It turns out, feeling like you are part of a kind community is biologically more satisfying than being rich in a community you don't trust. Okay, so we know the biology and we know the traps. How do we actually use this science? How do we hack that 40% of our happiness that is under our control? Based on the latest research, here are 5 actionable strategies you can start today. Strategy 1. Rewire for gratitude. Our brains have a negativity bias. We are evolved to notice threats: the tiger in the bush, the rude comment, the bad email. We have to train our brains to see the good. This isn't just positive thinking, it's neuroplasticity. The most effective method is the 3 good things exercise. Every night before bed, write down 3 things that went well that day and why they went well. They can be small. The coffee was good, or I finished my report. Studies show that if you do this for just 21 days, you actually strengthen the neural pathways associated with optimism. You are physically changing your brain structure to scan the world for positives instead of threats. Strategy 2. The flow state. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi coined the term flow. It's that state where you are so immersed in an activity that time seems to vanish. Happiness isn't usually found in passive relaxation, like watching TV. It's found in active engagement. To trigger flow, you need a task that is challenging but matches your skill level. Find a hobby or a project that pushes you slightly outside your comfort zone. That engagement releases a steady stream of dopamine and gives you a sense of mastery that consumption never will. Strategy 3. Fuel your serotonin. Remember earlier when we mentioned that the vast majority of your serotonin is actually produced in your gut? This brings us to one of the most exciting new fields in science: the gut-brain axis. Your gut and your brain are physically connected by the vagus nerve, and they are constantly talking to each other. If your gut is inflamed from processed foods and excess sugar, it sends distress signals to the brain and inhibits the production of those happiness chemicals we talked about. To hack this, you need to look at food as fuel for your mood, not just your body. The research points to the benefits of psychobiotics, foods that support good gut bacteria. This includes fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, and yogurt, as well as high-fiber vegetables. By feeding your gut biome, you are literally providing the raw materials your body needs to manufacture happiness. Strategy 4. Movement snacking. We mentioned endorphins earlier. You don't need to run a marathon to get them. New research supports the idea of movement snacking, short bursts of activity throughout the day. A 2024 study showed that just 5 minutes of movement can reset your mood. When you feel stuck or unhappy, change your physiology. Stand up, walk around the block, do 10 push-ups. You are manually forcing your brain to release chemicals that combat cortisol, the stress hormone. Strategy 5. Social investment. Finally, prioritize connection over convenience. The longest-running study on happiness, the Harvard study of adult development, followed men for nearly 80 years. Their conclusion was simple: good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Period. This doesn't mean you need 100 friends. It means you need quality connections. It means putting the phone down. It means listening. It means caring and sharing, as the 2025 data suggests. Science tells us that happiness is a skill. It is a muscle that you can build. It is found in the way you view the world, the way you move your body, and the way you connect with the people around you. You have a set point, yes, but you also have that 40%. You have the power to rewrite your habits and, in turn, rewire your brain. So stop chasing the next big thing on the hedonic treadmill. Look at what you have. move your body, share a meal, feed your gut. And remember that the science of happiness starts with a single choice: to be present, right here, right now. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about how your brain works, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video.